I love making people irrationally angry at me with simple simple jokes. I thought about doing another fire tonight, but then I decided no, I don't really want to go through that much effort. And I took a shower earlier, and I'm not really trying to smell like fucking wood smoke again already. Probably have a fire tomorrow night. I get off at 2:30 tomorrow, so I have plans. I have a whole fucking thing I want to do tomorrow. I want to make some more bread. I want to buy me another whole like 5 pound sack of bread flour. I want to make me a bunch of bread. See how much I can make. I also need to find a recipe that keeps for a couple of days so that I can. I don't know, like so that I can sell more of it because like there's I don't know. I feel like you've got to have kind of an established customer base before you start selling things that are reliant on being a little bit fresh, like French bread or um, New Orleans bread or something. But that's really what I like making the most. But I'm going to find some recipes that kind of hold up a little bit better over time. They can handle being storaged a little bit. But once I do that, man, I'll be fucking golden. And then maybe if I've got enough time after all that, I'll do a fire, and maybe we can have another fire stream. That'd be fun. But who knows? I might get home from work tomorrow and be like, you know what? I don't feel like making no fucking bread. Although I do kind of want to make pizza again here pretty soon. I do really want to make me some pizza again here soon. When I made the homemade pizza that I made like a month ago, it was a big hit with everybody at the house. And this time I want to kind of prepare a little bit further. I want to do like a three meat, and I either want to do like a three meat and well, I don't know. I was gonna say like a three meat and like a pepperoni, but that doesn't make sense, honestly. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I want to do two different ones. Oh man, somebody is so butt mad. Bro, I've got one viewer and it's somebody who has nothing better to do than troll me. You have fun. See, the beauty of it is that I've got so much power over your life. Give me another 5 minutes of your free time, bitch. Give me another 5 minutes. Bring it to me. Come on. Give me those alts. Bring them all here. Hit the little button on YouTube that lets you make another channel real quick. I wonder, this person who's doing this, I have a feeling that I know who it is. And if it is who I think it is, I bet if you. Yo, hush! Cat tried to climb into the window. Got all scared. Now the dogs are freaking out. Cat, can you? Damn it! Go get out of my spot. Okay. Ow. Jesus Christ. Anyway. I bet if it's the person I think it is, you would look at their YouTube account options thing, and it would be literally chock full of accounts. Literally, you'd probably have to scroll for 2 minutes to run out of YouTube accounts. Dude, it's like this motherfucker heard me talking from within the shed and rushed over from wherever he was hunting a mouse at or whatever, just to say hi, just to get his attention-seeking ass on these streams. This cat is the only attention seeker allowed in this chat, by the way. All the rest of you get banned when you attention seek, but not this kitty. Although I guess I do ban him in a sense because I move him sometimes. Why? Why are you so fucking manic, bro? The power with which you cuddle is fucking fierce, dude. Hello, Muhammad. How are you doing? Oh, this is always a fun game with people who've got unconventional names. Or at least unconventional for my white bread ass. What part of the world are you from? Because I will never stop being fascinated by the fact that the internet not only allows access to the breadth of human knowledge at our fingertips, but also allows access to the breadth of human communication. You can talk to somebody from Saudi Arabia if you're in America. You can talk to somebody in China if you're in Great Britain. You know, that's people dreamt about that for hundreds of years before it was ever even close to being achieved. And then even when a facsimile of it was achieved, people were addicted to it. People love the exchange of culture, the exchange of cultures, and the internet just makes that so much easier. Dude, I wonder if that person who's trolling, I wonder if they had that account. I wonder if they had that. Oh, what do you call it? That sock puppet account, just on on deck, or I wonder if they made it as soon as their main channel got a notification for my streams. The things you gotta wonder about, right? The things you gotta wonder about. What's up? I see two different people, but I can't tell who they are because my cat is trying to live on me. Okay. Oh, Richard Dominguez. I haven't seen him in a fat minute. Kitty. Dude, I swear to God, you never, literally, I was sitting out here for hours and you fucking were nowhere to be seen. No. No, we're not going to do this. Bro. It's one thing when I'm just chilling and I can have you on me. I'm not going to fucking, I can't, bro. I need to be able to lean over. Jesus Christ. Missed a few? Yeah. No, that's okay. I don't expect everybody to show up for every single one. But I do notice when people are gone. Dude, is there some? No, there's your fucking food bowl is full. Your fucking water bowl is full. You're literally just seeking attention, and it bugs me that you only do this when I'm busy. No, dude, no, dude. It just bugs me because, like I said, it's literally only when I'm doing shit that I would really rather not have him fucking trying to hang off of me for. It's like the universe telling me, yo, you're not allowed to do this shit you have fun doing. I take you in the house. Alrighty. Now that I've thoroughly scared everyone off by getting super fucking overstimulated at my cat, now maybe we can have a conversation. Dude, I love that cat to death, but he'll be so cuddly, but it seems like it's only when I'm not okay, I know that it's not only when I'm trying to do something, but it's like I was sitting here for literally like 2 hours, not really doing much, just kind of like watching Ideology and commenting with my phone. And at one point, I was rolling a blunt. Literally, he was just out catching mice that whole time, just out exploring or whatever, right? Didn't give a shit. But as soon as I start this fucking stream and I start talking and shit, then his ass is fucking like hones in. And it's not, like I said, like it'd be one thing if he just wants like 5 minutes of fucking petting and shit. I've never met a cat that will do what he will do. And dude, if you've never seen it on any of the other streams, what he will do when he gets in that mood is he will just try to fucking monopolize my entire fucking body for the entirety of a stream. We'll be sitting here for 3 fucking hours. He'll be on me the whole time. It's overstimulating as fuck. Because it's like I can handle that for like an hour, but the knowledge that he's not gonna fucking the knowledge that he's not gonna rest until I'm done with the fucking stream, or you know what I mean, like that just ugh. Cats are assholes, dude. They fucking are, bro. They legitimately are. God, they're assholes. Bro. Bro, what a name for an alt, man. Hey, Phoebes, just wanted to say hi before I crash out. What's up, Zeke? Sorry I missed that for a second. I was just I'm bitching about my cat. Dude, like I said, I love him to death, but man, he is way too much sometimes. Because he just wants to live on me. Anyway, I kept talking up this blunt I rolled in Paul's chat, so here it is. Topped with Keef, as promised. It's only a half blunt because I found this Swisher, and there's only one Swisher in it, but it was broken in half, so I figured I'll roll a half one. Oh my god, bro. They didn't even try with the name on this one. Literally just face rolled the keyboard. Let's see. Were they able to come up with a good roast? Being Paul's mod is like the highlight of your existence, huh? Within the last 5 years, I came out as trans. I've driven from Pismo Beach, California to Salisbury Beach, Massachusetts. I've been to 4 rainbow gatherings. I've dropped acid over 100 times. I've done shrooms over 5 times. I've bought and sold like 2 or 3 cars in that time. So let's see, we're on like 7 different things that I've done in the last 5 years that are all far more interesting than being Paul's mod. It seems like you've just got a really fucking deep personal issue with me being a mod in Paul's chat. Like that really pisses you off somehow. Like you feel slighted somehow by the fact that really what you feel slighted about, and here's why it's so pathetic, right, is that being a mod in Paul's chat is not a position of authority, it's a position of custodianship. It's a custodial position. We're literally the fucking janitors over there. You understand that, right? See, you're one of these fucking terminally online people for whom being a mod in someone's chat legitimately would be the coolest fucking thing that happened in their life. I'm sorry, but that ain't me, motherfucker. I got bigger fucking fish to fry. I got more shit going on than just that. Now, do I love being a mod in Paul's chat? Yeah. A lot of the reason I like being a mod in Paul's chat, though, is because I like participating in Paul's chat. And participating in Paul's chat is fucking impossible if it's nothing but retards. So if you find yourself getting banned over there a lot, I don't know, don't be a retard. And if you feel like you just deserve some fucking elevated position because, well, just because, well, number one, you're probably not going to last very long over there. But number two, rather than just stewing in your own fucking self-hatred, why don't you, I don't know, have some interesting experiences and have some interesting stories to tell and upload a profile picture to your main account that isn't fucking anime related or isn't a fucking photograph that you stole off the internet somewhere. Take a picture of yourself, become an actual face in the crowd that is distinguishable by something other than a letter, and, you know, you'll be a mod eventually. That really is pretty much how it works over there. Like, it's the same way over here too. Like, if you're a regular and I know you and I kind of halfway trust you, you will be a mod over here, because it's not about power, it's about cleaning up the chat and recognizing good chatters. Sorry, bud. I know you want it to be about something way more than that, but that's literally all it is. You're mad about the most fucking ineffectual, pointless shit ever. I want to be Paul's mod. I'll be the best. Julian, I love you as a, like, I'm not gonna say I love you, because that sounds weird. I love you, like, I love you as a human, you know what I mean? I love that you're out there. I appreciate your subscription, and I appreciate that you're in here a lot. I wouldn't give you modship if you held a gun to my head. Mostly because at that point you'd be holding a gun to my head, but also, just in general, sometimes, Julian, you are perfect and on point, and you're contributing to the chat. Other times, I can't make heads or tails of what you fucking say. That's why you're not a mod in here, is because, it's about 50-50 whether I actually understand Julian Bichereau on a given day. You know, like, some days I do, some days I'm like, huh? You know? Bro, someone is super fucking mad. Give me more of that fucking free time. Give me more. Bring it all in. Bring it all in. Bro, I hope you realize that for every one of these alts that I ban out of my content, you're giving me a unique view, unique cumulative watch time, and unique interaction numbers. So please, by all means, keep making fucking stupid alts, and I'll keep banning them, and it'll keep going like this until you get bored of giving me fucking free engagement for no reason. You're doing me a favor right now, dude. My channel is literally I'm going to be able to turn YouTube from a hobby into a profession on the back of people like you. Literally. Because there are people for whom I am just repellent, but there's also enough people for whom I'm kind of endearing and kind of charming. What that means is that, properly leveraged, my personality could be, I mean, it already is something that people kind of like have found reason to come back to in their life. The fact that I've gotten 100 subs over the last month, just literally just doing these, I think is evidence of that. The fact that basically all of my sub growth has been commensurate with videos that I uploaded that got lots of views is evidence of that. But also, like, more important to me as evidence of that is the reactions that I've gotten at rainbow gatherings, where I've been like a really big, like, social kind of person, playing a lot of music, doing a lot of shit. There are some people that just find themselves hating me, but most people just seems like they can't help but like me. I know, it's a curse. Thanks for those words. That was actually nice. It's because you're cool. Well, I try to be. And yeah, I mean, Julian, that's the thing about me, is like, I'm not ever gonna bullshit you, you know, like, you or anybody else. I don't mean just you. I just mean, like, I'm not a bullshitter by nature, you know. I try, in fact, to be the opposite of a bullshitter. I try to do my level-headed best to avoid bullshitting people at all times. And I could say that's because of some rote shit like honesty is the best policy or something, but really the truth of it is that I don't like being misunderstood. I don't like it when people take the shit that I say and run with it in a completely opposite direction from what I meant. And so a great way to avoid that is to say 100% of what I mean in the moment when I get a chance to say something about it, and to not kind of tiptoe around what I might feel is like a sensitive subject or something. Because the more tiptoeing you do, the farther away you tiptoe away from your real position, the more likely it is you say something that you'll have to go back on later. And going back on things you say really does kind of suck and feel like shit. So I try to avoid that sort of thing. In my opinion, the best way to avoid that sort of thing is being honest. See, this is like exactly what I mean. Unique engagements, unique views. Just keep on handing it. Keep on handing it over. Well, I know Zeke Mode's trying to go to sleep, so at this point, I know what I just said, Julian, but you know how I said that it kind of hurts to go back on your words? Well, I'm going to take the fucking pain in this instance. Now, Julian, if you abuse this, if you ban a regular out of the chat, if you just ban somebody that I don't think's like doing something wrong, then your ass is fucking out of here. But for the time being, you can help pursue the chat and get rid of some of these fucking dorks. Where are these fucking people? Dude, this is one person. Literally. You can tell that this is one person on their cell phone because it's not multiple accounts at once. If this was somebody on a desktop, they'd have 7 browsers open right now, all chatting with me on different browsers. And, you know, honestly, the stream numbers would probably be going way higher because there'd be 7 unique viewers just from them alone, right? They'd essentially be view botting me at that point, which I would be all the more grateful for. No, this is just somebody on their phone. And you can tell because every time I ban them, it takes them about 30 seconds to a minute to come up with another account. You know what I mean? The chat won't let me rest. That's why I modded up Julian, because I don't want you to feel like you gotta stay here to police that shit. I don't ever want my mods to feel like my streams are a burden. I'm just gonna say this. I want my streams to be a place, more than anything, more than the roast I was making about that person earlier in response to them. Really what I care about on these streams is not the potential of someday doing it as a profession. Like, I've got the farm for that. I've got long-term plans with this farm. I've got long-term plans with my how would you call it? Like my career, I guess, you know, like in terms of like 9 to 5 employment. I've got ideas as to where I want to go with that. Really what I value about these streams and what I want to preserve about them more than anything, I want them to be a fun place. I want it to be a place where people get that notification and they hit it super quick because they want to talk, they want to fucking chill, they want to smoke a blunt. You know what I mean? I just want it to be a chill ass, fun ass place where people can hang out and people don't feel like it's a burden or like an imposition, you know? I'm very protective of that sort of thing. No fun can be had here, trust me. No, dude, I have fun on these streams all the fucking time. That's the beauty of these streams, dude. Like, I have so fucking much fun on these. Even sometimes on the ones where people are just being absolutely stupid, you know what I mean? Even on the ones where people are just being ridiculous and retarded, I genuinely have fun with them. And when I don't, I delete them. And so you can go back through my channel and look at how many lives are up and say, oh, yeah. Based on that, do I have fun with it? I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yeah. I mean, I got a stream the other day that has like 5.3 thousand views on it. And that was like some of the most fun I've had in weeks. Well, honestly, that was not some of the most fun I've had in weeks just in general, but in terms of like social media fun, in terms of like shit I've been able to do through the internet, that's the most fun I've had in probably fucking 5 or 6 years, honestly. And so like that's what I care about. I like the fact that these are fun to do and that the people who chat in them seem to have fun doing them. Let me figure out how to do the ban hammer. You can count on me. I have not done this, sorry. Well, just if you can do me a favor, just try to proofread what you say as you say it. You know what I mean? Like before you hit enter, just kind of proofread it to make sure, like, does this sentence make sense? if I said it out loud exactly as it's written, will it make sense? And that'll just help make things look a little cleaner in chat. But yeah, you just basically on any chat that looks like a problematic chat, you just click it with your thumb or whatever. If you're on a phone, you just hit your phone, boop, and it'll bring up a menu. At the very bottom of that is hide this user from this channel. I usually just do bans because I reset my ban list at random intervals, let all the alts come back, and it rinses and repeats. So don't worry about timing them out necessarily. Just ban them. Dude, another thing about that fucking troll, they're accusing me of Paul ball washing, but I wasn't even doing any Paul ball washing in that stream. I don't even think that's kind of fucking even came up. I mean, hey, if I'm doing some ball washing, that's one thing. I really didn't feel like like I was on that stream. Then again, to somebody like that, ball washing is probably just any time you're not shitting on somebody. So who knows? I'm being a bit hasty sometimes when writing. That's the big thing that gets people in these live streams, dude. And I get it, because especially with a dude like Paul, he's been doing it for so long and he's got so many viewers regularly in his streams that he really can't do what I do and go through and try to answer every chat. And I don't try to answer every fucking chat. I'm judicious with it, but I try to at least answer all my mods and answer all the interesting questions, and I'll kind of like go back through them. But that's just because that's just an artifact of my chat being smaller. And you'll notice on streams where I've got more, way more going on, you'll notice that I just miss a lot of them. So really the best thing you can do is just write. Honestly, the key, in my opinion, dude, that was so quick. Dude, the key, in my opinion, is to kind of, you kind of got to watch my behavior, right? So if I'm talking about something, and I mean, Paul's the same way. Any streamer that pays close attention to their chat will be operating in the same way. You can kind of predict when they're looking at the chat and when they're on a roll, and you're probably not gonna get noticed if you type right then. It's kind of an art to it, right? I wonder what that troll with the endless free time does for work. Dude, it would be super ironic if they've got if they've got the potential to have a way cooler life than mine, and instead a lot of bored people that really don't have much going on in life. But dude, there are too many trolls out here. It can't just be bored people that can't afford to really have an exciting life. I imagine that there are some successful motherfuckers that just love anonymous internet trolling. And that's gotta be the weirdest motherfucker in the world to me, because dude, I can't tell you the amount of shit I'd be doing if I just had even if I had 20 grand more. You know what I mean? If 20 grand just landed at my feet. Well, number one, I'd buy myself a car so I'm not reliant on other people's vehicles to get myself back and forth from work. But after I bought that, I'd probably be left with 10 grand, because I'd buy some kind of nice used car. I wouldn't fuck myself over with something with too many miles or whatever, but I'd get me something decent that would get me back and forth and have some cool features or whatever. And you could easily get that for 10 grand still. And then I'd have 10 grand left over. Dude, I don't know what the fuck I'd do. I'd probably either be doing less of these, or you'd be starting to see me do them with a much better phone and seeing me do much cooler shit, like rebuilding the entire barn, putting a whole new roof on it. Man, the type of shit that I would do if I had access to the sort of capital and the sort of freedom that some of these people that I'm talking about have. And like that's the thing is like most of the people I see that have anything close to that do live really interesting lives because like most of the time I think they realize what they've got, you know. And if you're at all a fun-loving person, and you've got access to those kind of resources, you're gonna want to use them on doing things. You know what I mean? You're gonna want to do that. Oh man, this troll is really obsessed with Paul's reproductive facilities. Dude, yeah, I've never seen somebody so fucking concerned over a neckbeard's testicles, bro. Like, I've never seen a person obsessed with it more. I don't even think Paul's doctor cares about his fucking nuts that much. I know for a fact Paul doesn't give that much of a fuck about him, but this fucking troll, dude, he wakes up in the morning thinking about Paul's balls. You know what I mean? Ends his fucking day with a prayer that Paul's balls remain fucking dry and unvinegared, you know? Oh, this weed is too loud. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Excuse me while I sing the song of my people. Dude, that is... It's just, I don't know. Internet trolling to me is fascinating at the best of times, but especially when you start thinking about some of the psychological underpinnings of it and some of the philosophical implications of it. Well, maybe not philosophical. I don't know. There needs to be a word, and maybe there is. I feel like maybe this is just an artifact of me not having a very large vocabulary, but there needs to be a word that refers to implications regarding the way that people feel about life, I guess, if that makes sense. No, that was gibberish. That didn't make any sense at all. Like, okay, so when I say like the philosophical implications of trolling, what I mean is like how the trolls feel about themselves, what they do for a living versus what they choose to do in their free time, etc., etc. I guess those are philosophical ramifications, but I think when people think philosophy, they think Nietzsche, Plato, Socrates. They don't think, you know, whatever this is. But that is it, right? Is there a better word for that? Dude, look at them go. More accounts, more accounts. Dude, what is this? Like the 7th fucking alt? No bullshit. I'm an IT guy who does pretty okay financially. Due to other things in my life, I'm absolutely miserable. You wanted to know what I do? So there it is. I had a theory that you weren't a poor person that's just bored with life and can't afford to do anything better. So, like, that's the fucking thing, dude. Is like, honestly, you've been sitting here trolling me all night, but with that statement, you just made me empathize with you quite a bit, and I'm not mad at you anymore, dude. Whatever problem you have with me doesn't need to be a problem, dude. I empathize with where you're at. I have been in a situation where I was okay financially, my bills were paid, but I was fucking miserable, and there was nothing I could do to get out of that. There's nothing I could do even really to cope with it. I just kind of had to grin and bear it. I didn't have to grin, I guess, but I had to just kind of bear it and deal with it until I couldn't anymore. And not dealing with it anymore meant uprooting my whole life, changing everything about it, and life hasn't been the same ever since. And I empathize with being really miserable. But you understand, right? That misery is what's driving you to this sort of antisocial behavior, right? Like, if you weren't so like miserable, you wouldn't be tempted into this sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like a well-adjusted person doesn't find the time in their day to do this sort of thing. And if you're doing okay financially, it's like, dude, I can tell you as a poor fuck, dude, there's so much shit that I want to do with my partner that I just can't do because it's just not in the budget, right? And I'm not bitching about my situation. I'm not begging or anything. I'm not. That's not the point, right? The point is, if I just had a little bit more money than I do now, I would never be bored again in my life, right? I could totally see that in myself because I could afford to, well, like I said a minute ago, I could afford to get myself and my partner a car so that, like, we had one for a long time and then I had to scrap it because the head gasket failed, and I don't have an engine lift. An, I have a floor jack, but I don't have enough floor jacks and jack stands to get a vehicle up to where I could feel comfortable actually like working on that shit and getting it out in some sort of other redneck way. I just didn't have the fucking tools and equipment to work on it and fix it, so I fucking scrapped it and cut my losses on it. But now I don't have a vehicle, right? One little rung above where I'm at, and honestly, after I save up for a couple of months, I'll have it. You know what I mean? We'll be there. But as of right now, right, one little rung above where I'm at right now, and that would be not even like we have to save up thing. It'd just be like, okay, well, let's combine our paychecks for a month and do the same thing 2 months in a row, put that up, there we go. That's our savings, right? And after we've got that, right, I could take my partner to the zoo in Memphis once every 2 weeks. We could like we could go there with the plan to just hyper fixate on one specific area and try one specific restaurant, and then um, do something else in Memphis and then go home. I could afford to take them on some kind of some kind of trip or outing at least 3 or 4 times a year, because honestly it's not expensive to travel in America. It's just like you've got to have a little bit. And at the level that I live at, that's just kind of hard to do. So like I think the point that I'm driving at, right, is that there are a lot of people who are in my position who find themselves bored to tears and who end up engaging in this sort of behavior out of boredom, not so much malice and misery. I mean, that drives part of it because it does sometimes become a miserable place to be in. It's not for me because I live a pretty unique life for a poor person, but that said, it is for a lot of people. I think it drives them to that kind of behavior. But I think that there's also another side to it, and that side is demonstrated by somebody like you, right? Who's somebody who's trolling not even because they're bored, really, not because they don't have the ability to do something more interesting on the face of it. Holy shit, nobody was gonna tell me. I was just sitting here fucking letting my whole ass fucking stogie. I just let it fucking burn up. Anyway. I guess the point is there is something that you could change about your life. I'm not going to pretend to know you, so I'm not going to pretend to know what that is, but there's something you could change about your life that would give you back the freedom that you so desperately crave, and that would save you from the misery that you so presently feel. And that doing that may require an intense amount of sacrifice, but it will 100% feel better than being in the miserable situation. And I gotta tell you, if you're an IT professional, dude, the world is your oyster. At the very least, America is your oyster. You can move anywhere. Literally, I live in the deep south. I live about an hour and a half away from Memphis, Tennessee. Elon Musk is currently building a massive fucking a massive supercomputer in Memphis to support the development of X's AI. And if Elon Musk is setting up something there, other tech companies will follow suit, you know? And I guess what I'm trying to say there is like, if they're bringing tech jobs to my fucking little shithole side of the fucking woods in America, you can do it anywhere at this point. Literally, you can go anywhere. And if that's the case, you're in a way better spot than a lot of people who are miserable and feel like there's nothing that they can do. But I understand why you may still feel like paralyzed by fear, because maybe there really is nothing you can do. Like maybe you're stuck at home taking care of like a sick parent or something, and really you can't. Your morals will not allow you to go do something else, but it makes you utterly miserable. And all you can think about is how glad you'll be when they finally pass away, and how bittersweet it's going to be. And you hate yourself for thinking that way. That's a horrible, untenable situation to be in. But I guarantee you that if I was in that situation myself, I could figure out a way to not make it miserable. You have to. You can't resent yourself over situations that you can't control. Honestly, though, listening to you talk, I don't really hate you as much as I thought. A lot of people end up feeling that way, and it's because, like, I will give you aggression back if you give me aggression. But I'm like, I'm one of those people, dude, that my brain says way harsher shit about me than anybody else out here is ever going to be able to say. And so a lot of the stuff that people say to me rolls off my back like water off a duck's back. But I'll give them that sort of same disrespect back, because I think it's kind of like a good example of the give what you get kind of policy. But I don't hate anybody, dude. I don't have a problem with anybody, and I've got a great deal of empathy for people that are in shitty situations, that don't feel like they can do anything else, and that feel like as much as I may say somebody is pathetic for being in that loop of creating a bunch of alts to troll in the chat because they've got nothing better to do and they're just that miserable, I empathize with the person in that situation pretty deeply, and I understand that that's pretty horrible. And honestly, the reason I let them get a few messages in before, or the reason I let you get a few messages in before I banned each one, is because clearly this is some kind of release valve for you. And who am I to deny you that release valve? You know? It doesn't affect me, literally, like I said, all it does is generate engagement. I'm still gonna like ban it after a couple, because it does produce a less interesting conversation on the whole. But I mean, look at how interesting it was because I chose to respond to you, and because you started to respond genuinely, right? You brought some realness to the chat, and as a result, you haven't been banned this time, and it's actually been a really fun conversation so far. So thank you. And it's always the same fucking dude. I guess he is. I'm not very internet savvy. I'm learning. It's all right, Julian. They seem like they're chilling out, and that's okay. And we can let bygones be bygones. You're probably right. Like, I'm not gonna say that I'm like 100% right, because obviously I would say that, but I'll tell you this much: it is no fun to be in that position. And unless you're in the situation where I was describing, where you've got like a sick parent or a sick relative that you just can't abandon, you're the only one there, then the best thing you could do for your situation is to just cut bait and run. And find someone that appreciates you, find a place that appreciates you. Before you do anything, though, really, really think about yourself. Think quietly if you have to, in a place where you can really fucking just be real with yourself and isolate what it is that's making you miserable. If it's everything, if it's every aspect of your life, then probably what you need is, you just, at that point, what can you do but kind of like slough off the rot and go somewhere new? That sucks. It hurts when you have to do that, but you'll be nothing but improved for it. Well, there's always someone or something more miserable, though, right? Oh, of course. Well, I mean, that's like that's something I use to comfort myself a lot, is the fact that I might be miserable as fuck one day for some reason. I might be having a real bad time, but there is somebody somewhere who's dying in some horrible car accident, or who's being held up at gunpoint or being bombed. There's always somebody who's got it way worse than I do. And so no matter how hard my troubles may seem, I know that there's somebody who's got it worse. And honestly, more importantly, I also know that there's somebody who's got it just as bad as I do. Just as bad. Somebody I can empathize with. The fact that all human experience is a repetition of previous experience is such a great comfort to me. Yeah, there's always a first time for everything, but after that first time, everything is repetition, right? So it's like, I might be in another car crash at some point in my life, but I will know because I've been in one before that I'm most likely going to survive it. And I'll be able to comfort myself with the knowledge that most people who get in car crashes survive it. And that even if you get really badly hurt by it, most of the time you're going to recover, all this other shit, right? Basic shit. Wow, I would love to travel west to East Coast America someday. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was some of the best times of my life. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. Just being able to live in my van and being able to drive it so fucking far in this country was a real fucking privilege. I haven't been to all of the lower 48, but I've been to, let's see. Well, let's just cover places I went to in my travels. We'll go from west to east. California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, Texas, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, Massachusetts, Arkansas, Vermont, New Hampshire, 24 states. So I've been to about half of the United States, which is an experience so few people in this country can say they've had. And I feel immensely blessed for that experience, Have you heard of a band called Mannequin Pussy? No, sure have not. Yeah, it is a great relief to know someone has it worse. Exactly. It's common human empathy, Yeah. I don't know. I think we're at each other's throats too much nowadays. I think, and once again, that's not to say that you can accept disrespect, but I think that in general, we're at each other's throats too much. And I, as a result of that, choose to be a person who's very much willing to just say, it's alright, it's fine. We're chill. I ain't tripping. Because honestly, I don't want to be the reason somebody is crying. I don't want to be the reason somebody is angry. I don't want to be the reason somebody feels like nobody understands them. I don't ever want to be a part of that fucking chain of misery. And so I'll dish it back, but then, I'll also be a human about it. I don't know. Dude. Dude. We could do a candlelight stream. I could exist in candlelight for a while. Let's see. Where's the fucking thing on this? There we go. Ooh, the vibes just got spooky. But I felt like, I don't know, I felt like the light needed to be low light. It needed to be low light time. Ooh, a candle ritual. It's not a ritual. It's just, well, I mean, I guess it's a ritual because these are kind of a ritual for me, and the candle is a candle, so I guess it's a candle ritual. Yeah, cool way to think about it for sure. No, I just really like candlelight. Honestly, I love it. I think it's I don't know. I think firelight and candlelight are the most natural ways to look at human beings. Plus, this candle smells really good, and so not having the added benefit of the light allows me to focus a little more on the smell. It's a nice effect. You know, I haven't played guitar for you guys in a few days, so if anybody wants me to do that, I'm sitting just a couple of feet away from it. So that is an option for tonight's stream. Oh man, dude, at the beginning of that the ideology I was watching before I started this, people were just constant on the politics questions. I was engaging with them because it seemed like that was just kind of like what the chat was on. But as soon as I realized Paul was like not in that mood, when I realized he wasn't in that mood, I started like joking about it. But then he was just like, I don't want to talk about this at all. And I was like, okay, hey, that's fine. I get that. Totally get that. Once again, I don't want to push anything on anybody. And even if it's joking about that shit, I think it's just like, I can imagine for somebody like the the people who've been doing like for that content creation team, I imagine this electoral shit, this argument is getting really fucking tiresome. I haven't heard TJ talk about it, um, but I don't know. Maybe I could ask him about it and hear it straight from the horse's mouth how he feels about like this whole electoral conversation because I can't imagine that it's still evergreen to either of them. Like to me, I still have a lot of vim and vigor left in the electoral discussion and in arguing about it, and you know, especially because my kind of perspective on it is kind of new to me, honestly. Because for a long time I've said, you know, well, voting for president doesn't matter all that much, honestly, but you should still vote for the fucking Democrats because it's gonna be fucking a little bit better than Republicans, right? And the idea that doing that is actively contributing to the worsening of the Democratic Party is a new idea in my philosophical life. The idea that it's actually making things worse and that it's not just a vote against Trump, but a vote for corruption within the DNC. That idea has it's only really kind of like come home to me in the last like 2 years or so, and I've still got a lot of passion to talk about it. But I imagine if I keep doing streams like this and keep doing YouTube content when I feel like it and shit in general, if I keep doing that for 20 years, I'm probably going to be sick of the fucking discussion by that point, too. I'm probably going to be like, elect fucking Mickey Mouse. I don't give a shit. Do what you want. Because at a certain point, like, I just imagine people getting sick of it because it's a trend that I don't just see in that content creation team. I see it in all old people pretty much. Like not all old people, but like most old people, even ones who ostensibly have some kind of they've got some kind of idea in their head as to how they're going to vote, right? Even a lot of those people I find are actually not passionate at all about the idea. They don't really believe in it. They're not there for it. They like that it pisses off the other side or whatever, but they're not fucking jazzed up about voting. Um if anything, most of them seem like it's just kind of a bludgeon of like a different ideology at this point. And a lot of times, the ideologies that these people rep themselves are pretty different from the ideologies expressed by the political merch that they wear. So, that discrepancy leads, I'm sure, to a lot of arguments. And there's a point I was driving at. What was it? Oh, when it comes to most of those people, I genuinely think though that they just don't like give a shit about it unless they're one of the people that just wants to have arguments about it. I think most people kind of just wear their political merch to be a little bit edgy because at this point you can be kind of like edgy no matter what you wear because it just depends on the area you're in, right? So like in the area that I'm in, I could wear Kamala merch and that would be like edgy, but also wearing Trump merch is considered edgy because there's just enough lefties here for it to be like, ooh, you know. So most people outside of those really dedicated to the argument types just don't really give a shit. What the fuck? Well, that was a weird fucking noise. Anyway, I love random weird noises like that. Completely catches me off my fucking train of thought. I love neoliberal incrementalism. It has helped us so much. I know, right? I know, right? Doing everything in tiny little itty bitty steps has really gotten the fucking working class so fucking far. I totally agree. Dude, every time we take a little bitty fucking tipsy toe to the left, that fucking helps a shit ton, dude. I can't tell you, as a trans woman, I have been benefited immensely by the fucking completely pussy compromising nature of neoliberals and their supporters, as evidenced by my massive riches. Um, yeah, it's absurd. The fact that there are still obviously a couple of million people in America that don't see this for what it is, that don't see this um, as clearly as some of us seem to, really does kind of annoy me because to me it it's just like reality. It's just like basic fucking fact, you know? It's just like this is the way it is, you know? Like how are you going to argue with me that it's any different than how I'm describing it? But people will. They sure enough will. Gotta go home and check on my livestock. I'll let you know how they're doing. Oh, dude, Goat Cager. We're both farmers, bro. Make sure you subscribe. That's really cool. I probably have way less livestock than you do, though, because we're basically just trying to um, grow our own grocery bill, so to speak, and produce a little bit extra to trade with people for stuff that we can't grow. Um, but that's kind of cool. That's actually really dope. Yeah, let me know how they're doing. Tell me a little bit about what you got. I imagine goats, which we also have a goat. One. That's cozy. It is. This is like the coziest vibes you can get east of the Mississippi. You will not find a cozier stream. Dude, so okay, you know the title of that stream that I did last night where I did the campfire stream? I titled it Rare Vibes Campfire Stream. I want to do this show, and now that I've said it, it's going to be something that some big YouTuber does, and I'm not going to be able to make any money off of it, and all my dreams are going to go to shit. Whatever. Anyway, I'm going to say it anyway because my brain is bursting with it, and I have to share it with somebody. So I have this idea for a show that would probably not be all that dissimilar to that, or at least that kind of thing would be an aspect of it. And I want to call it Rare Vibes. And the whole idea of this show, and it's something I could do here on YouTube. It would just be like a structured format for videos. You know what I mean? Like if they've got the Rare Vibes title in them, you know it's this type of video. You know what I mean? So, but the show could be all about experiencing and showing people like the inside kind of scoop on, well, Rare Vibes. So like they're like sitting under a bridge with a fucking 40 is a rare vibe. People will call me trashy, but that is a rare vibe. And showing people kind of like maybe what that's like without kind of showing them how it works could be. I think that a video like that could get like fucking 50,000 views easily for a tiny ass channel like mine. I think people would eat that shit up, dude. Um, Another one that came to my mind is like riding a train, not Dirty Kid style, but actually like riding Amtrak. I've never done it, but I've always wanted to. And when I see videos of people in Amtraks, I always think, man, I wish somebody would do a whole video that's basically just like, what is it actually like to ride Amtrak? And what would it feel like if I got to chill with somebody on a fucking train for 2 or 3 hours? And that was another one I thought of, right? Houseboat, Rare Vibes Houseboat Edition. Like I just do all of these different places and settings and shit where you can get this sort of feeling of like I'm in a cool place or I'm at least in an interesting place. Places that make you think, right? The show could easily just as easily be titled Places That Make You Think. All the best, Phoebe. Taking out the dog. Have a nice evening. See you later. Nice. Yes, that would be dope. Do it. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna do it if, like, to the best of my ability. I mean, like, I'm gonna try and I've got a lot of irons in the fire. Like, honestly, before I do anything with the channel, I need to get myself and my partner a car. That's like my main fucking focus right now. Before I get myself, like, I want to get a fucking Steam Deck, but I can't do that until I get myself and my partner a car. I can't, you know, like, it's just like I live in the fucking South, and I'm always gonna live in the South or the Midwest. So you gotta have a car if you live in that part of America. You just gotta. It's not an option. So I gotta do that first. But once I've got spare money after that, I'm gonna start throwing it back into the channel. I've already got a gimbal that I can use for shooting a lot of these videos, but I don't know. I might consider upgrading the gimbal to a little bit more of a like beefier one that's got heavier capability at some point. I'm definitely gonna want to upgrade my phone at some point, which I can just get that on my contract. It's not like I've got to have like I wouldn't even have to have like some kind of big amount saved up to do that. I would just after my phone's paid off, AT&T will beg me to fucking start a new contract with a new phone. So. And then I'll have two phones, one for the stream and one for the Google. But if I had like a nice new iPhone, from what I've heard, I would be able to film just about anything I would want to film. And that sort of freedom would allow me to do some pretty crazy videos. Like imagine after I've got it established, imagine the type of fucking shit I could convince people to let me do. Like, what is it actually like to, like, okay, what is it actually like to work front counter at a hotel overnight? You know what I mean? Like, set up a special thing where it's like, hey, I just want to do this as a volunteer for like educational purposes and to use it as an opportunity for content. I won't make it an obnoxious thing. I'll have this thing sitting right down here. It'll only be able to see me and my reactions. It'll be able to hear me, but you know what I mean? Find a hotel that's willing to let me work the counter overnight. You know, teach me the basics of how it works, and let me run that shit overnight, and just kind of like show people kind of the rare vibes of that, because there's already rare vibes to being in a hotel lobby late at night. If you've ever had to do that for some reason, like it's fucking okay. So I'm gonna give you two different scenarios, right? Scenario one: you arrived to your destination way later than you meant to, and check-in time has came and went, but you know that technically if you wake them up, you know what I mean, or if you get a hold of the front counter person at 2 in the morning, they're still going to let you into your room, especially if you've got multiple nights booked. So you're in the lobby, right? And all the lights are on, obviously, even though it's fucking late at night, all the lights in the lobby are on. The smells hit you immediately. You can hear somebody getting a fucking fudge round from the vending machine. That's the only other sound you can hear in the whole hotel. Unless you really focus in, you can hear somebody fucking waiting one of the halls down yonder. And then you order your room. You tell them what room you're in or whatever, right? You give them your name. And the second scenario is you're already in your room. You wake up at 2 in the morning and you are the fuck getting the fudge round, right? Whole different fucking vibe. And there's a third vibe in this situation that has only been alluded to thus far, which is the vibe of the fucking person working the counter. This is the type of shit we need to know. And I think it would be so fun to make content like that, dude. I think it would be so fucking fun. Because really, it's also like an excuse for me to do content on like interesting settings. You know what I mean? Which like I guess I've already said that that's basically the point, but like it gives me the opportunity to turn anytime I'm planning to go to a really cool place. It gives me the an excuse to like experience it twice, once in real time for myself, and then once again for the stream, or you know, maybe experience some things specifically so that I can experience them like on stream and in the video format. Man, it'd be so fun. Rare vibes driving down I-90 in New York. You know what I mean? Just have an entire like 2 hour long video that it's like slickly edited so that throughout the video, especially during parts where the road's not that interesting, where you've got like historical facts, we're talking about all the different stuff on the road, right? And then as it gets closer, right, I'm in the passenger seat, or whoever's working the camera is in the passenger seat, and they use the gimbal to pan around and show like the crazy ass mountains as you're getting towards Albany, all this other shit, you know? That would be so fucking fun. It's an endless font of ideas. If it's a thing you can go somewhere and do, you could do a video about it. Candlelight over here now too. Oh hell yeah. I hope that's because candlelight's a vibe, not because like storm knocked out your power or something. One second. Good vibes, I know, right? Switch to candlelight over here too. Ah, I love you guys. Y'all are so cool. Give me 1 second. Oh god. You know, my knees be fucked up these days. Oh, you know, as we all sit here chilling in this beautiful candlelight, I can't help but think back to that person who kind of like thought about their trolling critically for a second, was like, kind of like thought better about it. People will say flippantly to choose kindness, and I feel like it's always a little vague as to what they mean. What they mean is what I did earlier, right? It doesn't mean accept every fucking bit of bullshit that comes your way. It means when it comes to, or when you get a chance to demonstrate a little common empathy and a little common humanity, do that. And even if you're going to rebuke someone's disrespect with disrespect of your own, don't just leave it there. Explain, kind of humanize the issue, right? I guess that's what I take it to mean, at least. So I tell you guys to choose kindness in that manner. It's fucking 1:43 in the morning. Whatever, dude. I never fucking rest anymore, bro. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It really is fine. I'm fucking 26. I don't need rest. I'm gonna be a parent in a fucking like 3 months. I need to get used to getting like 2 hours of sleep a night. You know what I mean? You guys are basically my training babies. But yeah, honestly, it's been supreme vibes in here. And I'm actually really thankful for that troll earlier, because I don't know who that was. Like, I don't think it was the person I kind of thought it might have been at first. But maybe it is. I don't know. I don't think it is, though. Um, but I'm glad they came in and did that, because number one, because they kind of like eventually came with some realness, and then number two, because it led to a really beautiful humanistic moment. And this is why the internet is so beautiful to me. This is why it's worth preserving. This is why I see some value in social media, because yeah, should it be the only way you socialize? No, obviously not. But it just goes to show you how much human connection can happen over this weird format. Same time as in Colombia. Colombia! Is that where you're from, Julian? I offered them a redemption arc. I mean, I guess I did, huh? Because I kind of like started talking about like the psychological implications and shit of somebody in that position, and I don't know. They don't strike me as the kind of person that actually wanted a redemption arc, so I don't think I got played. I think I actually kind of had an interaction with somebody that realized they were being a prick and decided not to be. But yeah, I always try to give people a redemption arc, because I don't want people to be bad people, dude. I have too much love for this species, man. I've spent so much of my life telling people that I'm a misanthrope. I spent so much of it telling them that so that I wouldn't have to be what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, so I wouldn't have to be involved with the things that they would do that would make me really worried about them, I guess. Be like, in other words, being a misanthrope and acting like you just hate people is a really good defense mechanism against getting your heartbroken time and time again and being disappointed time and time again if you're a young person who doesn't have much in the way of rationalizations for why people act the way they do. And the truth of it is that I don't think I ever actually hated people. I think I didn't understand for a long time why people acted the way they did, why they would ever choose to act that way. But I've gotten a lot more understanding about the world as I've gotten older. And at this point in my life, I've got so much love for this species. So much. We're the cooperative apes. Orangutans have their niche. Gorillas patrol the forest floor, eating as they walk. Chimpanzees dominate the canopy. But we are the team building ape. We're the monkeys that invented the team building exercise. We're the monkeys that invented the country. We're the monkeys that invented the society. We're those monkeys. And that's the most beautiful thing about us, is that no matter how much people will try to divide us, no matter how much the bourgeoisie seeks to set us against one another, I am a human being, and you, listening to this right now, are a human being too. And we have more in common with each other than either of us do with anything else in the universe. Except, except like a human that's like directly related to us or something. But you get the point. I was born in Holland, but I live in Bogota, Colombia. Dutch father, Colombian mother. Dude, that's fucking crazy, bro. What the fuck is Colombia like? Dude, because, I'm just gonna, maybe it's a shift change, but that's fine. I'll be honest with you guys. I am a fucking pretty stupid American. I'm good at pretending like I'm a good deal smarter than I actually am, but I'm not that fucking smart. And whenever I think about foreign countries, I always remember that and think about it, because I always end up realizing I don't really know much about any of these places. For example, when I think of Colombia, this is going to sound so fucking retarded, but literally the only thing I can think of is that country that makes Coke? Like every other retarded American, that's the only thing they know about Colombia is that fucking Coke is there. You know what I mean? I know they're renowned for coffee production too, right? But when I think about Colombia, what I see in my head, and I know this has got to be racist and ignorant as fuck, right? There's no way this is actually real, but what I see in my head is a barefoot, vaguely Hispanic-looking person carrying a big fucking bundle of sugarcane on their back, barefoot, down a dusty trail somewhere in the mountains. That's not Colombia. I know logically that can't be Colombia because I know how whitewashing in history textbooks works, and I know how being raised up in a racist society colors your views of the outside world. So no, logically, there's no way that's accurate, right? Because I haven't read all that much about Colombia, which is to say I haven't read shit about Colombia. So, like, what is it like? Long story short. A dangerously beautiful paradise. It's quite a shithole, too, not gonna lie. I understand the cocaine stereotype, it's okay. It also is. So, okay, so it's like, it's not completely undeserved, but that's not y'all's main thing. You said a beautiful, let's see, you said dangerously beautiful paradise. I mean, I like a place like that, honestly. I kind of like a place with some intrigue. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the barefoot native walking down a dusty trail, hauling a bundle of sugarcane image that my brain generates when I think about Colombia is probably just a relic of being raised in fucking Mississippi. Because you clearly have the internet and a cell phone, um, and are not burdened by a big old bundle of sugarcane. Man, dude, I gotta fucking. I need to find a. Here's something I want to do. I know there's a few books about American history I need to read, but there's got to be a book that's like world history for adults, like world history for adults that went through America's fucking whitewashed ass world history lessons. Because I don't know a motherfucking thing about South America, because they don't teach you to interrelate the things that happen. And this is something that happened honestly in their education about the ancient, the ancient Near East as well, like the in the ancient world just in general. There's this problem in textbooks, at least as far as I can tell, where they don't connect up these places where like historically relevant things happened in ancient times with the countries that actually exist there now. It's like they'll describe a place and it'll be like a brief mention, like in what is now Chile today, you know what I mean? Or in what is now Egypt today, or something like that. Or especially like when they're talking about the pyramids, very often they won't even put it that way because, well, it's still called Egypt, so why even fucking make them confused by pointing out that the kingdom of Egypt and the fucking caliphate of Egypt or whatever the fuck are different entities? Why even bother? Oh man, it's the slow retardation of America's youth. What can we say? And I'm a victim of that, but I want to repair myself. I want to amend that um, blind spot in my knowledge. Like, honestly, I want to a fucking world history book that'll give me the skinny on what's basically happened in every country over the last 200 years. And if it has to be fucking like 20 volumes to really present that, that's fine. I'm fine with that. But let me read it so I don't feel like such a retard. Howard Zinn is a book. Damn it. Sorry, y'all. The People's History of the United States is a book I want to pick up, but as far as I know, that's a deep dive into American history, right? Does Howard Zinn have like a People's History of the world? Because I feel like I've heard that said before, and that's like obviously I want to read the People's History of the United States, but that to me is like a given, and I think about that. I guess I think about it on the whole a little bit less than I think about like this kind of like giant gap in my world history knowledge that I'm talking about. Because when it comes to American history, I do understand our story. I understand the basics of it, right? And I understand most of the non-whitewashed, uh, like real. Basically, I know what actually happened, and I know what the American history textbooks say about what happened when it comes to America, right? So I know that Christopher Columbus did not come over here and have a beautiful, quaint little Thanksgiving with the natives and eat turkey and dress up in cute little costumes with them. I know that Columbus originally landed in what they called the uh, what was it, the West Indies or something? They landed in the Caribbean and thought they had reached India. Um, Columbus basically extorted the natives for gold and um, then kind of like basically went back to Spain, told them about what was over here. They came over here and started the colonization of America. And as they were starting to come over here to start colonizing, Britain started getting its fucking grubby little hands on it, and so did France. France, Spain, and Britain continued to fight over North and South America for the next, well, until now, honestly, if we're being completely frank. Um, I guess Spain no longer has any interests, but I don't know. Once again, I don't know shit about fucking geopolitics. Like, um, not for most countries. There's a couple of countries I know a little bit about because I read a bit about them, but like Spain, I don't know fuck all about Spain. Maybe they do have some holdings still in South America. Maybe they still own a part of Mexico. What do I know? You know, but I'm willing to admit those gaps in my knowledge. But yeah, so I know that let's see. The French used to own a really huge part of America, and a lot of that they had actually bought from the Spanish, who originally claimed most of the West Coast and most of like the Southwest of the United States. Um, the French had purchased that from the Spanish, and then we purchased it from the French in Louisiana, in the Louisiana Purchase. Um, let's see, if I remember correctly, that purchase was to fund Napoleon's war effort. Um, let's think here. Alrighty, I know this. The Civil War was fought basically exclusively over the issue of slavery, um, despite what Southern history textbooks will tell you, and despite what Southern old men will tell you. It was basically exclusively about the fact that the South was reliant as a culture and an economic force on slavery as um, a force multiplier in their production terms. And it kind of created this really awful situation, right? Where they were actually resistant. So here's the fucked up thing, right? If you This is not something I realized. This is a bit of a tangent, right? But this is not something I realized until I went up to Massachusetts and was living there for like half a year. But if you go to old places in this country, places that made up the original 13 colonies, if you go to little fucking towns in Massachusetts and shit, um, you will see examples of technology and places where technology would have existed that are dated to before the Civil War or around the Civil War. And there's crazy technology that you can read about being used in those areas. And if you look at the kind of like the cutting edge of what was happening in technology during the era of the Civil War, that's the same era when the telegram is starting to be a thing. But in the South, they're still picking by hand, even though there are more and more complex machines that will pick, not by hand, that'll pick by machine, or do a facsimile of picking by machine. That'll make it way easier to harvest by hand, or whatever the fuck, right? But the South is still picking by hand. Why? Because they've created a situation where it's legal for them to own people, which means it's cheaper for them to pay for the maintenance costs of these slaves than it is for them to pay for the maintenance costs of that machine. And the people are way cheaper than the technology is. And the people who are benefiting from slavery were so entrenched by the system that they were actively resisting. It was the same thing that was happening in ancient Rome. They were actively resisting the adoption of new and better technology to replace slavery because they didn't want slavery replaced, because they've already got this big population of people that's going to be super fucking pissed at them if they're ever allowed to be free. They don't want that, right? Now, eventually, thankfully, it was forced on them anyway. But, yeah. They went through a hell of a lot to try and avert that. It was Columbus Day a few days ago. Absolute bullshit. There's a great book called The Open Veins of South America. The Open Veins of South America. Thank you, Julian. I will read that. It explains a lot of what you're talking about by Eduardo Galeano. Okay, tell me how my pronunciation is. Eduardo Galeano? Or is it Eduardo Galeano? Or Galeano? Galeano? Eduardo? Eduardo Galeano? Very recommended? Good? Okay, cool. Right on. Thank you, Julian. Eduardo Galeano? Galeano? Or Galeano? Eduardo Galeano? Cool. I just saw there's an audiobook here on YouTube. It's actually called The Open Veins of Latin America. Okay, thank you. If it's got an audiobook on YouTube, I will definitely fucking listen to it because there's no excuse at that point, right? And this is 100% something I've got to learn more about. I hate having gaps in my knowledge, dude. I hate feeling like a dumbass because I want to talk about something interesting, but really all I've got in my head when I really start to think about it are racist caricatures or ignorant caricatures or just misinformation, you know? I don't like that shit. And while I'm glad that I didn't engage in any sort of fanciful behavior in terms of like conjuring up an idea of what I think is going on down there based on my racist preconceptions, while I'm glad I just admitted them, I'm still not proud of the fact that I don't know shit about it. So I gotta fix that. Definitely gotta fix that. Do y'all want to hear some music? Because I kind of want to play some music before I go in. That's okay, lol. Cool. Cool. Covers a larger world perspective. Okay, Zeke. Good to know. I will check out that book then. I will. Well, I was going to anyway, but now I've got two to check out. So, The People's History of the United States and The Open Veins of Latin America. Noted. I'm glad that I'm saying these on stream because I can literally just go back on the stream and watch it and figure out what it was that was recommended. Go ahead. Musical. Let's do it. By the way, Julian, I'm assuming you're English second language, right? Here. Where's my fucking tuner? There it is. Third. Yeah, so, okay. I never really thought about that before. I honestly just thought, I thought you were probably from Louisiana with a name like yours, because it's got a very kind of French sound to it. But knowing that, I will actually kind of say that given that you're an English third language speaker, I don't know. I guess I kind of have to eat a little bit of crow about what I said about your language skills earlier because I kind of feel a little bit mean about it now. Because, like, honestly, I 100% just read you as an American that occasionally likes to get a little bit tipsy and is probably from Louisiana and just doesn't, you know what I mean? But no, like, for somebody that has mastery over three languages, it's actually really fucking cool that you're able to converse this well in English and two other fucking languages. That's like, as a stupid ass American who can barely converse halfway decently in English, that's admirable. And I kind of think that's cool. Thanks. That's very kind. No problem, lol. 28 hours. I just feel like saying that random duration of time for that reason. I am a whimsical character. Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. I know who Goat Cager is. My retarded ass took fucking an hour and 35 minutes to realize it, too. Well, first I'm going to play the tuning song, which is basically every folk musician's first act, you know? It's always the first part of our show, is where we tune our instrument. But then, who knows? And I do have a bit of a booze problem lately, but I'm working on it. Well, I will give you a little bit of comforting perspective, Julian. My mother has been sober for 5 months, and my mom before that, she was drinking every single night for about 10 years. And the only time when she wouldn't is when she just had a really fucking, like, she'd really tied one on the night before and she needed a break from it. But she would never stay away from it for more than 2 or 3 days. And she's been sober now for 5 months. So it's something that is incredibly difficult to get a handle on. But I want you to know that it is something that human beings are able to get through. And I hope that you are able to get through it. I hope that you're able to find that strength within yourself, because it's really not a great habit to let yourself exist within. It's fine to get drunk every so often. Like last night, I had this this pilsner in the fridge that I'd use to cook some brats, and so last night, before I did the campfire stream and everything, I basically made my own dinner. Everybody else was doing hot dogs around the campfire, but I chose to use up the rest of that pilsner in cooking the brats. Well, by the time all was said and done, I still had about half of a pilsner left. So I was like, fuck it. I don't even like beer, but I'm just going to suffer through the rest of this pilsner and get out of the fucking fridge. And I did. And I was a little bit tipsy because I never fucking drink anymore. It's fine to get tipsy every so often. Obviously, it's fine to get fucking flat out silly, sloppy drunk every so often. What's not so fine, right, is becoming reliant on that. It's one of those drugs you really don't want to be reliant on. You know what I mean? It's one of those drugs you would be better suited to be to use with abundant caution, so to speak. But yeah, now that I know who Goat Cager is, it reminds me I should have responded to the thing that they said about that random duration of time. That is just a completely random duration of time that is completely esoteric in meaning and completely unreachable in definition. Like, who knows what that means? 28 hours. I mean, I think that that's the estimated delivery time on the pizza that I'm being sent from the moon. Because last time I checked, it was like at like 29 hours and like 37 minutes. And that was like an hour and 37 minutes ago. So, yeah. Yeah, 5 months is awesome, and thanks for your mom's story and reference. Yeah, of course. I just, I don't know. I like the idea I might be able to make somebody feel a little bit better, I guess. Where's the capo? Damn it. Grabbed a lighter that barely works. Oh, capo's on my guitar. That explains why I couldn't find it. Does anyone have a particular request? It can be a genre, it can be an artist, it can be a song. There's no guarantee that I'll know it, but I do know a lot of different ones. Moon Pizza. Important inquiries await your discretion upon stream completion, but no rush. I've seen the notifications coming in hot and heavy since my phone will fucking, like, it did it with emails for like a whole week, and I didn't even notice because I never checked my email. Like, I just swipe the notifications away, right? But my phone will just sit on notifications like an egg somewhere in its OS, and then display them all at once. And I had that happen with Snapchat right after I started the stream. Probably because I disconnected from the fucking Wi-Fi and my phone was actually able to get a good connection. And then I saw a couple after I started the stream. So yeah, definitely. Oh, it's gonna be a late one, but I'm fine with that. Like I was saying earlier, I gotta get used to the idea of staying up late. I have a kid on the way. What am I gonna do but stay up late? You play some Bob Dylan? Do I play some Bob Dylan? I do play one Bob Dylan song, yes. I have some things to attend to, but I'll come listen to you play later. Alrighty, well, yeah, definitely. I appreciate you stopping by. It's super cool. It's super cool to think that you're like, I don't know, dude. I'm easily amused, and I love the fact that there are people that I know that are watching me, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense. Anyway, this does not sound like any other Dylan song that there is, but here's an anti-fascist Bob Dylan song. I'm gonna have to move it up a little bit. Down in Mississippi, not so long ago, when a young man from Chicago town walked in a southern door, this boy's fateful tragedy, we should all remember well. The color of his skin was black, and his name was Emmett Till. Some men, they dragged him to a barn, and there they beat him up. They said they had a reason, but I can't remember what. They tortured him and did some things too evil to repeat. There were laughing sounds inside the barn. There was screaming out on the street. They threw his body down a gulch amidst the blood-red rain, and they pitched him in the waters wide to cease his scream in pain. The reason that they tortured him, and I'm sure it is no lie, 'cause the color of his skin was black. They thought he was born to die. And then to stop the United States from yelling for a trial, two brothers, they confessed that they had killed this innocent child. But on the jury, there were men that helped the brothers commit this awful crime. And so that trial was a mockery, but nobody seemed to mind. If you can't speak out against this kind of thing, a crime that's so unjust, well, your eyes must be filled with dead man's clay, and your bones must be filled with rust. Your arms and legs, they must be in shackles and chains, and your blood must refuse to flow, 'cause you let this great human race sink down so god awful low. This song is just a reminder to remind your fellow man that this kind of hate still lives today in that ghost-robed Ku Klux Klan. But it follows folks who thinks alike. If we give all we can give, we might make this great land of ours a greater place to live. Ooh, that's a fucking intense song. Ooh, boy. How many people know songs about lynchings? How many people still play them? Oof, I've been listening to this guitar player dude called John Fahey? Masters of War. Damn, that's beautiful for real. I don't know the song. What's it called? It's called The Ballad of Emmett Till. It's by Bob Dylan. It's a song most people have not heard by him, but it's a legitimately anti-fascist, anti-racist song. Strange Fruit is about a lynching too. I wish I knew Strange Fruit. I really fucking do. I think Strange Fruit is a beautiful song, honestly, even though it's about a really fucking fucked up and dark topic. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are so sweet to me. Southern trees bear a strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root. It's about all I know of Strange Fruit, sadly. Man, I can't believe our country let that fucking happen for so long. Whatever, dude. It's gonna... If there's a troll in here that'll accuse me of white guilt, I don't give a shit. Dude, I cannot fucking believe... I mean, I can, but literally, like, I can't fathom hearing about a lynching and not wanting to go do that to the people that thought that they could fucking extrajudiciously kill somebody in this country. Like, I don't know, dude. I'm one of those people, dude, that if you took me exactly as I am and somehow transplanted my morality into me living in, like, the Civil War, I would have had to defect to the Union. I would have had to, because I'm just like, you got to bring these fucking yokels into the fold. You just can't have this shit. Because, like, that's the fucking thing. Like, one of the things, like, as an American, I kind of feel like there's things that I value in this country that I associate with it super strongly. And one of those things is that you're not supposed to get extrajudiciously killed here. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, people are going to get murdered in every country. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people thinking that they're exacting some kind of fucking justice. That's not supposed to happen in America. We're supposed to have fucking laws, and you fucking yokels are supposed to use them to prosecute actual fucking criminals. And it is unfathomable to me that was allowed to fucking go on for so long. Yeah, hate is so nasty. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of starting to see that hate against homeless people. People threatening to run them over and shit. Dude, I will tell you, as a person who was homeless for 2 years, that hate is fucking so real. Dude, it's been real for a long time, but now people are starting to open up about it. That's really... Anytime you see hatred, I genuinely believe a lot of times that when you see hatred, you're starting to see how at least a certain subsect of the population really felt the whole time. It's like the MAGA thing. You think those people just became racist because they voted for Trump? No. They were Mexican hating racists the day they went to vote for Trump. They voted for him because they were Mexican hating racists in a lot of cases, you know? Like, and that's just one example of a big demographic, right? A big demographic that felt empowered to hate and then did, right? So what you're seeing right now is the results of rampant fucking hatred towards the homeless, being allowed to exist, and not having people argue vociferously for the lowest among us. And it's also, and this is something I've been saying is going to happen for a long time, and sadly it's happening now. There's so fucking many homeless people that they're just everywhere. It's like, dude, when I was a kid, I didn't know of any homeless people in the little town near me. Now, there's like 4 different homeless people that frequent just the fucking little restaurant that I work at. And there's like a rotating cast of like 10 more that I'll occasionally see, you know? That's fucking untenable. It's a tiny ass little southern ass town, you know? It what that tells me is that the places that are tenable for homeless people are starting to fill up at this point, and that it's becoming more and more difficult for people to get even on their feet enough to walk away. And that's just going to result in a lot of fucking hatred, because people are sadly, I think a lot of people in this country are kind of stuck in this kind of like fuck you got mine survival mentality mode, where they don't want to see the homeless person sitting across from them at the bus station as a human being, because if they see that person as a human being, then they're going to feel a pang of guilt next time they walk by their sign and they don't have a dollar to give them, you know? And it's way easier to just kind of look at them as like trash. And if you can convince yourself that they're just trash, then you can convince yourself that it's fun to dispose of them. It's fucked. And it's a result of there being so many fucking homeless people, and Americans not being able to see the fucking broad side of a barn. Basically, they're not able to see what's clearly in front of their eyes, right? That this capital fucking mode of production doesn't work, and that at the very least, unhoused people are not the fucking problem. Whatever's causing there to be homeless fucking people is the fucking problem you need to address. People aren't seeing that though, and that's going to result in a lot of fucking hatred, because a lot of people that have never met an actual homeless people, I'm sorry, a lot of people that have never actually met a homeless person, a real homeless person, are going to meet their first fucking hobo within these next, few months. Especially like in the winter, dude. Like that's the thing, is like throughout the fucking summer and shit, you can afford as a homeless person to kind of live a sort of crazy life and exist on the periphery of town and go to way small towns and do crazy shit, right? But whether you're a dirty kid or a home bum or anything, you return to your fucking home base during winter, because you've got to be able to get to somewhere where you can get warm. You've got to be able to get to somewhere where you can get food and nicotine and anything else. You know what I mean? And so, over the course of this winter, people are going to be meeting homeless people constantly in every city in America. And homeless people are desperate. Homeless people are in a fucked up, horrible situation. I should know. I was in that situation for a long time. And not nearly as long as some people are. And if you spend the amount of time that some people have spent living like that, you do just become kind of deranged. And it's not fair to hate those people, but plenty of people are going to, because people hate what they don't understand. And people don't want to understand something that they've been propagandized to believe is disgusting and gross. Oh shit, I was homeless too in Spain. Dude, I bet being homeless in Spain, though, was probably better than being homeless in America. I wonder, though. I wonder what the experience would be like. I wonder what the differences are. Sat on. Nope. We sat on the bold rocks with plum wine and we watched the ships. The fox swallow the. Fuck. We sat on the bulb rocks with plum wine and we watched the fog roll and swallow the bridge on the bay. I thought I could live here, but I'm still in high gear, sweating and freezing 3,000 away. Old Pennsylvania, 3-mile islands, the coal fires buckle the miner's highway. I'd love just to leave you, but it's good to see you. And I'll fill the Del Hostile City, PA. Where we all come from, most died of the black lung. Another brown beater, a boxer insane. When he finally got caught, the cops made a few calls. They opened his cell, never fought him again. Oh, Pennsylvania, you 3-mile islands, the coal fires buckle the miner's highway. I'd love just to leave you, but it's good to see you. And old Hostile City, and old Philadelphia, Hostile City, PA. Wake me when steel cities, roadwork sunshine in my face. Ooh, now I'm safe. Oh man, I'm gonna do one more song and then I'm gonna be done with music for the night. I'll take a couple more hits at the bowl and then I'm gonna go inside. This is the saddest song you'll ever hear in your life. I've got a kid, his name is Scott. He's going blind and his blood just will not clot. The doctor's lining rows to take tubes up Scotty's nose. There is the field where Scotty used to play until Ortho Orange number 42 was dumped in it one day. I think it's so funny, I laugh until I cry, just me and God. Watching Scott die, just me and God. Scotty died. The chemical plant across the street puts off steam that stains up our white sheets. It's been happening for years. Now I'm crying rainbow tears. One day my dog went out to play. Instead of gray, he came back colored yellow. The chemical man said, stay mellow. It happens all the time. Now Scotty's skin is growing lime, just me and God. Watching Scotty die. Just me and God. Watching Scotty die. Watching Scotty die. Nope. No. I can't sit here and think about that song. I can't let myself, or I will sit here and cry on this stream. I can't let myself get that. I can't let myself get that damn low now. Fuck, dude, that's just a sad ass song. It's a song that doesn't fuck around about the realities of pollution, dude. I hate how pollution is just this like foreign thing in people's minds, you know? When people think of pollution, I think they think car exhaust. And it's like, yeah, it sucks. But pollution is also litter. Litter is a form of pollution. Pollution is dumping out shit that shouldn't be dumped out outside, that should be dumped into the fucking sewer so they can be treated outside. It's dumping shit that should be in the sewer. It's dumping shit that should be outside in the sewer. Oh, man. It's fucked. Damn, that is unbelievably sad song. Shit. From Who Is? From Who Is? Who is that? Who is that beat? So there's two versions of that song. The version I play is by a band called Mischief Brew. It's called Watching Scotty Die. And the version I play is by a band called Mischief Brew. But there's also a version, the original version is by the Milk Carton Kids or something like that. I wanted to say the Postal Service, but that ain't it. It's not a fucking electronica song, so. Bruh, that was spooky. That was totally a fucking... That was spooky. Now I'm scared. Yeah, it was not that bad. I mean, hey, that's kind of how I look at my situation. It wasn't that bad. Could it have been better? Yeah. Could it have been a hell of a lot worse? Hell yeah. We lived. We got through it, right? I really don't want to kill the Supreme Candle vibes. But I gotta go. So I'm afraid that's exactly what has to happen. So that I can go. Anyway, it was fun hanging out with you guys. I'll see you guys later.